Hello Tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Yes, another one. I'm afraid it's just a pop-up one, so I shouldn't keep you too long, but I say that and they're still 20-30 minutes long. This is the, let me read it, the US Army Veterans Squad, in brackets, Winter, from Warlord Games' Bolt Action War Games game. And it's 10 metal 28mm World War II veterans GIs in winter gear. I won't go into that, they have a bit of blurb on the back. Now, I was going to get some Empress Volksgrenadier Germans, but because I have to make a unit up, I have to buy more packs than I need. It's like the British. I could buy just a couple of packs and paint another British unit, because I did manage to sell those Brits. They went on one bid, but they were sold. However, I didn't really, I needed money for other stuff, so I couldn't, other supplies and stuff for painting the figures and that, and I didn't really want to push to buying extra packs of Volksgrenadiers. It'll take me a couple of sessions of buying and selling to use up, if that makes sense. And these were going for about 18 quid from eBay, from a bricks and mortar store. And when I looked, I always go off and check what other prices are around, and 18 quid was extremely favourable. So I thought, yeah, I'll take a punt. Now, they're all headless, so you'll have to imagine, I'll share the heads in a minute. I'd say, compared to the Empress Brits, these leave me a bit flat, if I'm being absolutely honest. Nothing horrible about them. I just I don't know. I just look at some of the webbing equipment and that, and it's I don't know. It's there. It's all there. It's all. Let me just get a bit closer in. But it just lacks that bit of finesse, if that makes sense, in my eyes. But I bought them, so I've got to make them pay for me. So. They come in obviously all the different winter type uniforms that the American Army had in 44, 45, which I shall have to look up in my reference material. Obviously he's got the Garant, say 10 figures. That's a BAR. Now, I don't know enough. I thought the BAR carried a bipod. I take it they removed the bipod, because there's no bipods separate. So yeah, I'm not sure. Like that there, in there, that's just flat metal. You know what I mean? There's nothing there. There's no. I say that for me, they lack finesse. And like this water canteen, it's just a block really. It's just, you can see a cut-out block and a. Yeah, it compared to the Paul Hicks stuff that I was working on those Empress figures, that they lack that finesse. The detail's not there, but we will have to do our best with them. As I say, not horrible, but nothing that lights my fire. Not that I was getting really enthusiastic over those Hicks sculpts. These are not so much. Obviously we're going to have to cut that off and make good. And obviously these are all for that last winter of the war. Got one with a bayonet. Again, the weapons just have that lack of finish to them, if I'm being brutally honest. Yeah, hopefully that will change under paint. You get a couple of Thompson gunners, a couple of BARs, and a couple of Thompson gunners now. Actually, that I think is actually supposed to be the bipod on that one, isn't it? So if that's supposed to be the bipod, I wonder if this flimsy bit of metal is supposed to be a bipod that just hasn't formed. Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah, see, not. I mean, BAR, so Browning automatic rifle, first made in the First World War, and used by the Americans up into Korea, and obviously their allies, like in the Republic of Vietnam, in the Vietnam War, carried BARs and fought with BARs a fair bit before they started transitioning over to the more modern American equipment. But yeah, it's very blocky shapes, you know, just very basic look to them. So it looks like that's got a bipod. That should it have a bipod? I mean, is that supposed to be a bipod, or has somebody just not? 1 second, I shall have to. What's the painting guide on the back? Well, that's weird, because from what I'm looking at, they've only got one BAR. Oh no, we've got 2 BAR gunners here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's supposed to be a bipod or a piece of metal. It's never good when you can't tell. There's seems to be a liberal sprinkling of Thompsons as well. And the grey coats. What else we've got? Another Garant. So the shape's there. It's just a slight lack of finesse on the equipment and the general sculpts in general. A bit of infill there, which I think that might just be flashed down there. We should better poke out. Bit of a poorer there. Another Thompson. Thompson's a beautiful weapon, really nicely engineered, but no good for fighting over a couple of 100 metres across those fields that they would have been firing in. So having 3 Thompsons, it might be a bit overkill really, but hey, it is what it is. We'll paint them. And the gaiters. Again, there's a lack of definition in the gaiters. Well, they're not gaiters as such, are they? But the I've lost the word for them as usual in my head, but never mind. You get what I'm on about. So you will. Grenades. Yeah, we've got some grenades on this guy here. The old pineapples. He's even got a pistol as well. My life, they're tooling these guys up. Again, like I say, the water bottle and stuff, there's just that lack of finesse. And there's a fair bit of, on the thinner parts, there's a fair bit of breakages that you'll have to fill. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's just something you've got to have to look at when you do it. Can we show this guy up first, because it's a head that's, he's lost his head. It's hard to, if you're going to do all the balaclavas and scarves and everything, you know, it's just like the Empress figures. There's only so much you can do with the faces. I'm not. When I looked at the faces, it was a bit meh. But again, I haven't got them under primer or paint yet. Right, that guy's upside down, is he? Here he is. Weird. They've given us a whole host of different head coverings on the helmets. I take it that's that woolen cap that they wore. So these will be different, like, you know, they torn up sheets and stuff, pillowcases and whatever, just to take the green off the helmets. Again, the faces are a bit, yeah, you know. So don't put yourself off, Gav. You've got to get them painted. You've paid for them. You've got to paint them. Right. So this is coming up then. My enthusiasm fades by the minute, but we'll get them done. We've got to turn a profit. So So yeah, there's not even any point sticking a head on roughly because of the. I'd have to clean it, which is no fault of it. That's just how it is. You know, that'd have to be cut slightly to get your heads to fit in, and then you'll have to do a bit of filling around them. It's just to give you a chance to at least, you know, you might not be able to put different weapons on, obviously, like that, like you would do on a plastic figure, but you can at least, you know, get your heads turning which way you want and different head styles. So there we go. As I say, I'm a bit much prefer the Epic ranges. I purposely went metal because I did look at some Parish. I've got a sprue of, because I'll often get just a sprue just to see what things are like, and I wasn't massively impressed with the sprue of Paras I bought, and they went in the bin, to be honest with you. So I wanted metal. A paint job can sometimes turn things around. Anybody's paint job. I'm not bigging myself up. I just mean getting some paint on some lead. I know they're not lead, but you know what I mean. Can often change a whole scenario. You get bases, which I will be using. I think they're 30 mils. Put them on, you know, obviously because they're snowy bases, we'll put them on snowy winter scenes. The thing is with like the Ardennes offensive, you know, Battle of the Bulge, and then Operation Northwind, which was Hitler's way of trying to relieve pressure on German units as they were starting to be rolled back at the Bulge itself in the Ardennes. He tried to strike down in the Alsace region. The weather fluctuated. You know, sometimes it would snow and you have a fair bit of snow thickness on the ground. Then it would be like there's hardly any snow on the ground. Then there'd be like, you know, a bit of both, a bit of slush and whatever. So, but I will put these in like a winter type setting, obviously with all the great coats and everything. I think that's what they need, and the scarves and whatever. So, yep, let's see how we can turn these figures out. We'll be putting these up. I'm not sure exactly when, because I've got I want to do a couple of Napoleonic 40mm figures, but I may give these a go towards the end of next week, start painting them and see where we go. They should be compared to the Brits I did with the camouflage and all that, because they're more winterized, so great coats and everything, they may go slightly quicker. And not that, you know, I don't rush the jobs, it's just they'll take as long as they take, but I just think colour wise, you know, they're fairly apart from having to mix up different colours obviously for the great coats and different colour jackets. So anyway, thank you very much. I know this packet's been out a while. I'm not, you know, people have probably bought them 20 times over, you know, over the last few years. It's just new to me. I like to throw stuff off on the channel that I'm working on, so you can see them in the raw. Should you want to buy some that haven't cleaned them, filed them or anything like that, you can see them and then obviously follow them through as I paint, and just see how they turn out in the end, you know, under paint. So thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. Yep, that's 2 videos in 2 days. We're on a roll. Coming up, I've got the Hornice, which is the little 15mm Flames of War Horny stroke. I call it Nashorn as well, only because people more know it as a Nashorn than the Hornies. That's a German tank hunter with the 88mm gun. She's painted. I've done a couple of little tiny chips on her, not overboard. I've lightened areas up, darkened areas up. I've just put a couple of dabs of gloss on to lay some, just 2 Balkan crews, so German crosses and the vehicle number, 2, you know, one either side. Once I've done that, I'm going to just lightly spray some like beige or something as some dust, and then I'll give you a show and tell her how far she. Oh, and then I'll probably do might do a satin varnish over, because I do want to put just a tiny bit of oils. Again, I don't want to drown it because it'll block all the colours out and it'll lose the effect. But I'm still trying to learn to sculpt. More on that on another different video, I think. So yeah, we've got one of those coming up. So you should see the Hornice pretty soon in the next couple of days. So I'm working on a 40mm French Napoleonic Voltigeur from the Peninsular War. I've got my own Prussian Napoleonic project going on, which is my first unit, which is the Graf von Henkel's Cuirassier regiment, and I'm just on the last 2 figures. I bought a couple of extra figures because I hadn't ordered enough, so that's delaying that unit getting based and things. But you'll have a video on that coming up soon. There was something else, but it's gone completely out of my head. So look after yourselves, take care, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.